So welcome to the show. I'm Sarah J. Cross and I'm here to support you on your journey to becoming a successful product business owner with tips, strategies and stories to guide you through the good times and the challenges of running a product-based business. Today we're talking to Lisa Egglestone, founder of Aequora Skincare, a design-focused range of products made with all natural and certified organic ingredients. Lisa is going to talk with us about learning while growing your business, and she's the perfect person to do so. After 25 years working as an interior designer in London, England, Lisa moved with her family to the beautiful Samford Valley in Queensland, Australia, and found herself developing an appreciation for all things natural. She also realised that adapting to a more challenging climate meant her skincare routine was going to play a much more important role in her life. And so began her journey into the creation of Aequora, a natural and organic skincare line with a focus on sustainability. It's also vegan friendly, 100% cruelty free, and showcases Australian native botanical ingredients that nourish, protect, soothe and beautify the skin. Lisa has been learning literally every step of the way, learning about skincare, packaging, distribution, marketing, wholesaling, affiliate programs and much more. She's the perfect example of learning while you grow your business, and I'm so excited to have her here sharing her story with us today. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks very much for having me.
I've been really looking forward to having this conversation with you because you have truly built your skincare business from the ground up. Your past career was in interior design. I can see your design skills through your beautiful packaging and website. So it's a big change to go into skincare.
Yeah. Thanks, Sarah. It definitely was a big change for me. It's always lovely to hear as well that people like the new look of the packaging, which I have to admit I did get wrong the first time round, but I'll expand on that in a bit. And yes, a huge change to go into natural skincare.
Yeah. So tell me, before you moved to Australia, Lisa, were you thinking about switching careers, or was this something that you hadn't considered at all before experiencing the Australian landscape and climate?
Well, I've been lucky enough to have had a successful career in London in a leading interior design practice. And I'd pretty much achieved all the goals that I wanted to. And it just coincided that moving to Australia with my husband's work created that opportunity to think about a new chapter in my life. I had no idea initially that it would take me into starting up a skincare brand though. And that came as a result of, living where we do. Obviously, I'm working from home and looking out here in Samford in Queensland. And there was a steep learning curve as to what we could and couldn't use on the land here. As far as, we've got tank water and a biocycle, and I had to learn what chemicals, like in the cleaning products, I couldn't use. And so that led me to, research on Google, and then it would flick up about chemicals in skincare, and that piqued my interest. And I wanted to learn more. So I decided then to study and gain qualifications in organic skincare, essential oils, and did some basic formulating. And having got those under my belt, I obviously wanted to do something with it.
So tell me, Lisa, what was it like in the very beginning, starting out creating your products? I imagine it was a big learning curve.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, there's still a huge amount to learn. I'd worked out things like the ingredients and essential oils that I wanted to include in my products. And I'd played around with a few formulations myself, but I realized that if I wanted to scale my business, it would really make sense to get a company to contract manufacture the products for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how do you start from scratch with that learning? You're in a new country, in a whole new industry. Did
Yeah.
you have contacts in the beauty industry that you could just reach out to, and tell us, how did you get the ball rolling?
Yeah, no, with difficulty.
Yes.
No, I didn't have any contacts at all. And I hadn't got any previous experience in this field either. And I think probably a lot of people who knew me thought I was crazy. Um, but look, I think we're all capable of learning and challenging ourselves.
Yeah.
And for me, having connected with the company that contract manufactures for Aequora now, I was able to gain more knowledge. I'd ask specific questions
Yeah.
that were required, and get the answers. They could advise me on more details like micro testing, stability
Yeah.
testing,
Yeah.
things I knew very little about.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were able to get a bit of an education and advice from the contract manufacturer, which was really good. So Lisa, your products are amazing. I've used them myself personally, and I have actually also got my mum also onto your products, and she's also a fan.
Great.
So not only do you showcase native Australian botanicals, they're also certified toxic-free, vegan-friendly and cruelty-free, but you also include sustainable practices like your recycling program. So what motivated you to include all of this in your business?
Well, what I did have from the onset was a clear picture of exactly what Aequora should stand for. For me, it was extremely important that the brand should be credible and be able to stand up against, the already established big brand names that we already know. I wanted Aequora to gain a reputation also as a truly 100% natural brand. I knew the ingredients were true to this, but I think for consumers to buy and knowing the product really is that good, this is where the certifications come into their own. So from my point of view, as my focus is on Australian botanicals, I felt it made sense that it was vegan friendly. Obviously no animal testing, huge no. I didn't need to include any animal byproducts in my skincare, like goat's milk or honey, so it could be vegan friendly. Consumers, I think, our customers who buy natural products look for sustainable practices as well, as do I. And I wanted all the packaging to be recyclable. We use PET plastic for a few of our products, and nowadays most councils can recycle the PET plastics, but we do also offer a recycling program where we get our customers to return the empties to us. They get rewarded with some freebie samples. And then our recycling program is through TerraCycle. And we collate everything, send it back in a box to them, and they have the facilities to sort that out. A lot of the companies use them. So
absolutely. So the product is obviously a big part of the business, but once you have that all worked out, there's so much more to think about, right? Products don't just magically appear in stores or sell out online as soon as we hit publish or upload them on our website. So what else did you have to learn about, and how did you do it?
Oh, goodness me. Okay, so this is where the fun starts. Or in my case, the really hard work starts. Look, for me, I believe I'm still trying to play catch up on things like social media, marketing, PR. These are areas I knew and still know very little about, really. Email campaigns, the list is endless. I'm only just jumping on board with those. And when you start out, you're not making money straight away. So you have to wear, all the hats. You have to do it yourself. It's too expensive initially to outsource. But for me, joining the right entrepreneur group,
Yes.
that's provided me with tried and tested companies that I know where to turn that can help me.
Yeah, fabulous. That's really good. So would you say it's important to have people around you who have been through a similar journey?
Yeah. Look, I think it's a big help for sure. They
Mm.
don't need to be in the same field
Mm.
that you're in, but I think people that are in the same boat as you, for me, having other, let's say, female entrepreneurs,
Yeah, like-minded. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like-minded, that are juggling home life and running a company.
Mm.
Mainly, you're on on your own at home,
Yeah.
and it can be isolating day in, day out.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
and it's fabulous to have those connections with like-minded women.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people want to start a product business, but the fear of making a mistake holds them back. So did anything go wrong for you when you were starting out? Like, what were the hurdles? Just share with our listeners, because I'm sure everyone loves to hear these challenges, these stories of
Oh,
obstacles and how you overcome them.
yes, so many things went wrong. And look, the thing I would say is we all learn from our mistakes, don't we?
Absolutely.
But we shouldn't be afraid to try.
Mm.
Firstly, look, I was an interior designer, but that doesn't make me a graphic designer.
Mm.
And look, one of my first mistakes was that I didn't think clearly enough about my product packaging,
Yeah.
and that it should actually reflect what the brand was.
Mm.
So although I liked the initial design, it didn't truly represent what Aequora products were all about, which is,
Yeah.
as we've said, focus on native Australian botanicals.
Yeah.
So, the first lesson I learned was a costly one, because I had to rebrand.
Yeah.
But, it's all part of the process. And honestly, the more people I talk to, the more I realize that everyone makes mistakes,
Oh,
even
yeah.
the big companies.
Yeah.
It's just they don't shout it out from the rooftops.
No.
So we have that impression that everyone's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
it's just not the case.
Exactly. And it's a matter of being, accepting those mistakes, but also being able to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and move forward and not let it cripple, not let things become so overwhelming that you just think, I can't go on. I'm throwing it in, throwing the towel in. So something I see a fair bit of in the product industry is that companies seem to adapt as they grow. Their products evolve, their packaging and branding changes.
Yeah.
Has this happened at any point with Aequora?
Well, yeah. I mean, as I said, Aequora is always adapting, even though it's still really in its infancy, I believe. And like I said before, I did rebrand last year, which has been a huge success.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm always thinking of new products to add to the range. This in itself, though, takes time, because from the initial formulating trials to testing and then finally production, it's a process. But I think it's important as well not to race ahead with too many products, and to stay focused, and above all, to stay true to your brand.
Yeah, that's amazing advice. I absolutely agree with you there. I mean, I've followed you on Instagram for a while now, and we obviously, have worked together. We know each other really well. So what I really love about your page is that it's a great blend of, just beautiful photos and product information, but also includes some behind the scenes footage, the Q&As about your brand, updates on what you're up to, and in-depth explanations on how your range can really benefit people and the environment. And I think that's why your engagement is so good. So do you do your social media yourself, or how do you decide what to post?
Well, thank you. What I learned straight away is that good photography is vital.
Yes.
I highly recommend getting good product photography if you're product based, or anyway, and that includes personal branding as well.
Yes.
Now, for me, I hate having my photo taken.
I think most of us do, unless you're a model.
Yeah,
you do it for a living.
Yeah, true. And I'm not that much keen on video either.
Yeah.
But I've realised that people want the story behind the brand, and they want to know about you and who's producing these products. It's important to them.
Yeah.
I'm quite lucky in that I've got a teenage daughter who's quite creative and much more up to
Stunning.
Yeah, she's a lucky girl. She's much more up to speed with social media, and so she helps me out a lot. I'm still currently doing my own social media with her help, but I'm hoping soon that I might be able to outsource that part of the business.
Yeah, great.
Because it is quite time consuming. I mean, she's just put a plan into place where we're learning together. That helps enormously with, looking ahead with the order of the posts.
Yeah. The scheduling and having a bit of a content plan to plan ahead, because it's never nice to sort of have to think at the time, oh, what am I going to post today, and I'm an advocate for outsourcing, as you know, so it's always nice to actually sometimes have that either outsourced or to work together and collaborate with, if you're going to outsource it, have it closely planned and managed so that it still is in your voice and still in your brand voice, and it comes across authentically as well. But I'm one of those people that can kind of be reactive, and when I was doing it myself, I would be sort of getting to Sunday night thinking, oh, I've nearly forgotten to post, like what am I going to, I was trying to madly think of something. So
most nights really.
So what do you think are the next steps for Aequora? Like, where to from here?
Well, good question. Recently, I was lucky enough to exhibit at the Green Edit event in Sydney, which was a truly ethical green beauty expo. And I met some fabulous companies there, some great beauty brands. So I'm hoping to follow up and get a few collaborations with those companies in the near future. We had a chat about it at the expo, at the event, and I think that could lead to something which would be incredible. And I'll obviously be looking to continue to expand on our wholesale stockists. They're obviously essential for gaining brand awareness and getting people familiar with what our products look like out in the marketplace. Yeah,
absolutely. Yep, that's a fabulous plan. So Lisa, if you had just one piece of advice to give to someone who was thinking about making and selling products and starting their own business this year, what advice would that be?
Look, I suppose my advice would be, don't be afraid to give it a go. Expect to make mistakes. You will, but learn from them. Seriously though, look, if you're passionate about your product, then people will see that and they'll want to know more. It's just a matter of, I think, having the confidence, and it's an endless battle.
It's the confidence to start and believe in yourself, isn't it?
Absolutely. And look, the rest can be learnt along the way.
Exactly. And like you said, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes. It's completely normal. And I think as long as you learn and grow from your mistakes and don't repeat them, I think that it's completely human and completely normal to accept that some decisions, you might have, you might regret. And you can sometimes learn, and out of some mistakes you can, I remember the Peter Alexander story where they had a large order for to fulfill wholesale, which fell through, and he and his mum madly started to do mail order, and they started to promote and push mail order. Now that was the only way that you could actually then buy his pajamas. Before he went into bricks and mortar, he's been done for like 20 years. But he sort of, out of something that was sort of that could have basically taken his business down, they turned it into actually selling mail order and online, so
Amazing.
that they still could, maintain a sustainable business. And that was, that could have been a massive mistake that could have really broken his business. But I think, the rest, like you said, it's a matter of starting, and it's a matter of having confidence, and the rest can be learnt as you go along the way.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. I've really appreciated your sharing with us today, being so open, and your story, I know, will help so many of our listeners in the beauty industry and the whole product industry too. So where can people find you on the web if they'd like to know more?
Okay, well, firstly, thank you, Sarah, very much for having me on your podcast. I've really enjoyed it. Another first for me. So Aequora, the website is Aequora, which is AEQUORA.com.au. And my social media is for Instagram and Facebook, it's at Aequora Skincare.
So wonderful. That's so good, Lisa. Thank you so much. So if you have missed anything today in today's interview, or you'd like to go back and revisit Lisa's story and advice that she shared so generously with us today in detail, you can click on the link to download today's show notes and get a copy of everything we have talked about today. So it's time for me to say goodbye, and I will see you in the next episode.